eternal drama about us or souls or Purush. So the Purush is one of the main actors, with Param Purush and Prakriti are two co-actors. The space dimension, the soul world and human world, where souls travel to and fro from the soul world to human world. In time dimensions, we are going to talk about 4 plus 1, 5 yugs. And this drama is going to be validated by 9 laws. Let us see the laws one by one. The first law talks about the Prakriti's behavior is changed from energy or multiple or state of superposition into mass or a single state, which conscious mind can understand. And this phenomena is called the collapse of the energy wave as per the Schrodinger equation. That implies that this happens when there is an observation by the conscious mind or the Purush. So the conscious mind of the Purush, we can say that it controls the behavior of the Prakriti. And that is a quantum physics, or we can say that pre-observations part. And the application of which is that with thoughts, the behavior of the water molecule changes. Also, 7 qualities of the Purush or the soul control the 7 body subpaths. And it all boils down to that Sankalp Srushti. This is the first law. This is the second law. Not only that conscious mind of the Purush controls the Prakriti, but it has been observed with the post-observation that which implies that cause to effect, the relation is bidirectional, and which concludes that script of the some script is controls the Prakriti, and that script resides in the Purush. So script of the Purush controls the Prakriti, not the conscious mind of the Purush. And that is the quantum physics post observations. The neuroscience defines the script. When script is script which resides in unconscious mind that controls the conscious mind and which controls the action. It implies that there is no free will or no action or no thoughts are as per the free will. They are all predefined and happens as per the script which is stored in the soul. So this is the second law. The third law, because as we know that Purush controls the Prakriti and Purush behaves as per the script. So this third law, which is based on theory of special theory of relativity, where XY space dimension and a time dimension defines the event, and there is an event line or a word line. So the Prakriti follows the word line, and this is as per the predefined line. So word, it follows a specific line, it doesn't follow the specific path. So that also revalidates that script, like Purush, script also controls the Prakriti. Now, as per 1, 2, and 3, we can say that Purush controls the Prakriti as per the script. Now, second law of thermodynamics or law of entropy. Entropy is identified as S, shows that even when quantity or there is a conservation of energy as per thermodynamics law 1, quality of the Prakriti is always deteriorates or downgraded as during the time journey, which implies because as per because it implies that because Purush controls the Prakriti and quality of the Prakriti is downgraded in course of the time and course of the journey or anything which is from becoming from new to old. It implies that the quality of the Purush or the soul or has to also downgrade. And this Prakriti downgraded is scientifically explained as increase of entropy. And we are going to prove that downgraded of Purush or the quality of the soul implies the increase of the black layer on the soul or increase of the layer of the vikas in course of the journey of the soul. And whatever is implied in law 4 is validated by the law 5. That law 5 talks about metaphor of heat engine to soul engine, which talks about the journey from reversible or ideal or a deterministic state to irreversible, non-deterministic, and the real state of heat engine, which corresponds to nirvikari, soul conscious or deterministic state to body conscious or vikari world or a non-deterministic yug. And this journey has been explained using thermodynamics and with metaphor of heat engine to soul engine. Now, during the journey of the Purush, as per the script is executed with respect to the time, it becomes from the soul conscious to body conscious. In soul conscious, the inner world, the quality of the souls are intact. In course of the time, because of the body consciousness, and the self-realization is forgotten. But those qualities are required for the existence of the soul. So those things are extracted from the outside world and not from the inside world. And that leads to generation of the five vikars. And those vikars, or we are explained as in the black layer. So those vikars are stored on top of the Purush during the journey of the multiple births. And because of those vikars, the soul, the attitude of whatever is acquired, and we feel that whatever is acquired is I, but actually it is my, it is not I. So that is what is vikar, and that is that leads to the downgrade of the quality of the soul. Now, this was fifth law. Now, this is the sixth law, which is the culmination of quantum physics, theory of relativity talks about script, and thermodynamics. So, as per the script, both Purush and Prakriti, the quality is downgraded. And now it is explained that Purush Vikar, the increase of the Vikar of the Purush, corresponds to the increase of the entropy of the Prakriti. And this has been explained using the thermodynamics and metaphor of heat engine and soul engine, where, where thermodynamic entropy is converted into statistical or probabilistic entropy. Then using the Maxwell demon, it was converted into information entropy. From information entropy, it corresponds to the brain, then it corresponds to the soul, and that is the soul engine. So this heat engine to soul engine, and with information tree, and there's correspondence with thoughts and recall and this binary tree, where we say that higher the layers of the levels of the binary tree, there are going to be more vikalp, more thoughts, and which will generate more vikas. All that has been all proved. And based on this, and this will go in a unidirectional. So it will ultimately is going to lead to minus infinity or thermal breakdown. This is explained in this diagram. So this law 6 of the physics, which talks about both the actors Purush and Prakriti, and it talks about all these three laws, and it is as per the script. So it would go on till Prakriti goes to the thermal death, where source temperature and sink temperatures are equal, or it will go on to becoming to the Vikari world, where Purush, because of the Vikas, will not able to function properly. Now, now this is validated for all the four yugs, in all the Nirvikari world as well as Vikari world, and it is true for all the souls depending on the entry point, because every soul has a unique entry point based on the number of that soul on the soul world. And so this direction, this is a nirvikari world, this is a vikari world, based on this. So all souls will follow this path, and this path ultimately leads to a thermal breakdown. So this is a path of the Nirvikari world. This is a path of the Vikari world. The slope is higher because there is much more leakage because of the entropy and the Vikar. And this always there is a downward path because this it's already been explained that efficiency is always less than one. So everything is going from new to old. So this is so these are the laws which are followed for all these four yugs: golden, silver, copper, and iron age. So this is a universal law which is followed by all the souls and is followed by the Prakriti. Now, seventh law says that script is not because script or a cycle, if the drama has to be eternal, then script has to be a cycle. It cannot unilaterally go down to the thermal death and there will be a end of everything. And this is explained by the quantum physics based on because it's based on these two observations. So it is valid in clockwise direction as well as anti-clockwise direction. It implies that it can be a circle. Then there is a theory of general theory of relativity, which says that because of the gravity is not a force, but it is kind of a geometric curvature. And so because of this gravity, the script which was shown as a linear, it is not a linear, it is circle. So because it circles, it tends to complete the circle. That script can be a circular or a cycle. Then there is also a proof that all eternal things like a drama, like Prahar or Rutu or Yug, they are all cyclic. Then there is a history. History also shows that history repeats, and there is a Bible says that 3000 before Christ there was a kind of heaven, so that is also cyclic. Then astronomy also talks about uh, that that could be a cycle, and then population theory also. So all these things not only talks about that script is cyclic, but there is some kind of a proof that script with the cycle time can be around 5,000 years. And this is the mechanism, and that mechanism, this is already told science, logic, history talks that script should be cyclic, but that implementation of the cycle, because science doesn't know, physics doesn't know how it can be implemented. So if it has to be a cycle, and we have already shown that entropy, for to become the entropy is always increasing. And so physics cannot control the downward direction of the entropy. But we know that Purush controls the Prakriti. So this equation, so Purush Vikar can control entropy, and then which when it becomes zero, then only the time will become zero. And this will explain. And this some kind of a metaphysics phenomena is involved. And that we'll explain graphically. It's very important concept. Law 6, which we say that was valid for all the four yugs. But then it will lead to thermal death or excess of Vicari world, which is not sustainable. So if it has to be a cycle, so this is the x-axis is a time axis and y-axis where we say that Purush controls Prakriti. So this is the vikar of the Purush and this entropy of the Prakriti because they both can be in the same axis. So this is which generates talks about the quality of Purush and Prakriti. Now, if it has to be cycle, the y-axis has to become zero. So either entropy has to become zero or vikar has to become zero. But entropy cannot become zero because as per the second law of thermodynamics, as per the physics, that cannot be possible. So if there has to be cycle, the only way is that vikar has to be zero. So that is vikar is zero. And we know that Purush controls the Prakriti. So if vikar becomes zero, entropy can become zero, and then it will become at some t is equal to t, which we have said it is 5,000 years, and that some kind of a metaphysics phenomena is going to get involved. Now, as you say that when this becomes, see, this law 6 is applicable till this point of the time, means all the four yugs are completed. When there's some metaphysics phenomena would happen and then vikar becomes zero, then only this yellow line or will, cycle could be completed. Now that metaphysics phenomena or completion of the cycle, so that is applicable in this is diamond age. So this is a gold, silver, copper, and iron. So this is a transition age, which will, if it is a cycle, then this iron age has to get converted into a golden age, or we can say that from Vikari world, there will be a transition to the Nirvikari world. So this seven law is applicable, or metaphysics, this phenomena is applicable only for the transition yug or a Sangam yug, and these laws, the six laws of constant degradation is applicable for the all the figures as depicted in the cycle. Now let us see what is the mechanism that has to metaphysics methonomy. So there is a shlok in Gita, yada yada. That means when there is excess of the vikar or when there is enough, when we say enough is enough at that particular point of time, as per the Gita, there will be a avtaran, metaphysics, avtaran of the Purush, and the concept of the avtaran is two souls in the one body. Here we are talking about the soul, means Param Purush is also a soul, but a soul with a specific characteristics. It doesn't take the birth like we take the birth. When we take the birth, then the law of entropy comes into the picture and there will always be a downgradation of the quality. So this is a special soul. So soul, uh, that soul comes into the body of the Brahma. And that is why there is always in the reference of the Shastra, the Brahma is a creator of the world. So it is not the creator of the world, but it is a catalyst to transform the world from Vikari world to the Nirvikari world. So you can say it's the creator of the Nirvikari world. So this phenomenon of two souls in the one body. So this is the body of the Brahma and this is the Paramatma, God or a supreme soul. So once it happens. So we have already seen as per the quantum physics, Purush controls the Prakriti. But here the Param Purush will control the Purush through a kind of a teaching of the Param Purusha through the Raj Yoga, which is being taught by Supreme Soul through Brahma, because The Supreme Soul has no body. So to communication, the body is required. So this way we will see the philosophy how the Param Purush controls the Purush, in turn controls the Prakriti, and that is how we are getting the cycle. So let us see that mechanism. The mechanism is that from through the body of the Brahma, Param Purush teaches the Raj Yoga. So this is the settlement. The settlement is that from this Vikari world, we have to be go to the Nirvikari world. And what is required, we have seen that the Vikar of the Purush has to get nullified. And the system is that with through Yajo, there is a conscious mind, is Man and Buddhi. So we'll concentrate on the Supreme Soul, which has a pure soul with an infinity value or volume and value, and that like a lens and with a concentration. Lens burns down the paper, and that is why with this kind of a concentration, uh, the vikar of the Purush can be burned down, and and this phenomena of the focus. And to that, what is required is that the frequency of the Purush, which is in body conscious mode, so it has to become a soul conscious. So then only this frequency, and then only if that happens, that when Purush becomes soul conscious, it automatically becomes God conscious. And then it is possible that Raj Yoga is possible. And with that Raj Yoga is possible, then this vikar can be nullified using the Raj Yoga. So then this is vikar is zero, and once this vikar is zero, cycle can be completed. And this is what right it is. This is called as a kind of a settlement cycle. Now, what is the settlement mechanism? So we have seen conceptually, we have seen that yellow line, but that the settlement mechanism is very with a very poetic justice, where is settled is by the two methods. There are two options. One is a red option and one is a black option. The red option is the option of the yoke. Black option is the option of the bhog. So that first option is that, as I said, that if you want to use your Raj Yoga, your one has to become in a body conscious world. You have to become a soul conscious with the help of the God. And once you become the soul conscious, we have seen that how Vikar becomes zero. And that is for the some critical mass of the souls. And for others, if you remain in the state of body consciousness, uh, through a bhog or a karmic suffering, these vikar can be nullified, because in the soul world, when the cycle is completed, there cannot be any entry of the soul with vikar. So everything is a pure. So either you have to purify by the yoga, or you have to purify by the bhog. So so in the yoga, as per the karmic account, there will be a pain, but then because of the yoga, why the suffering is going to be zero, that is explained, because it is explained that dukh or the suffering is because of the vikar, and because we are removing the vikar, so automatically suffering becomes zero. Then we know that Purush controls the Prakriti, so our sthiti will control the paristhiti. So even if there is a negative paristhiti, because of the sthiti controls the paristhiti and not other way around. So that also helps. And because of that, we have seen that because of it, we say it is pain that in spite of the pain, the suffering is going to be zero. So these are the two ways where the cycle can be completed. And and this one way of becoming soul conscious or God conscious is called is Adhyatma. So we have seen that the law 6 says that all the souls follow this law as per their entry point, but and there is absolutely no option. But we have the option in the return or settlement cycle. That option is the red line or yoke, or option is red line or a black line. So this is what is the option. And when that is an option, because otherwise everything else is automatic. Here also, this black is automatic. So this red is automatic. This is automatic. Black is auto, and this black is nothing but law of action and reaction. But the reaction can be delayed, or we can say that is a karmic theory. So this is all is automatic, and it is not automatic. Is going through the interacting with becoming a God conscious, and you remove the vicars, and then there will not be a much of the suffering. And that is what is that is we can say that it is actually the genuine definition of adhyatma. And for that, there is a self-realization that we are a soul. And only when there is a self-realization, you'll be able to communicate with the God. And once you're able to communicate with the Roj, automatically vikar can be removed without suffering. Yoga. The law of the next cycle, the soul world and world. Now we are talking about next cycle. So as I said, there is a poetic justice. So we say we have defined this karma. So we have seen that this karma, there is, if it is a God conscious karma, or it is a shrest karma. If you do the Raj Yoga, then that we keep defined as a sukarma or shrest karma is plus. Only when if you do the plus, then only there is a entry into this nirvikari world. So where nirvikari world, it is a pralabd. So there karma, we say that is akarma or karma is zero. Otherwise, by default, when we are completing a cycle through a bhog or karma bhog, so we get defined as a cross karma bhog. So in the cycle, we'll only come into the karma negative, or this is a vikarma. So when we are in a body conscious mode, so this is a soul conscious mode, this is a body conscious mode. If we are completing the cycle, this is how we are going to return cycle will be like this, and this is how the return cycle will be like this. So here actually the cycle completes, and we have shown the second cycle like this. But because all the souls from human world to soul world, they depart at the same time, or we can say the time of the Kayama, so 20 is equal to T, and that time is quite near. So because it comes here, and then the soul world to human world which starts. So we can say it feels that there is zero, because this is everything is forgotten by the souls. Everything is forgotten. So we feel that the same cycle, actually it is the cycle of 5,000 years keep repeating, but we feel that it is the same cycle which is repeating. And because as you said, there is a poetic justice. So from Nirvikari world, because when we do the positive karma, then we will we will be able to have the deterministic world, or we'll be able to go to the deterministic world. And because it is deterministic world, there is always sukh. Here, non-deterministic world, it is sukh and dukh. So this deterministic world is, you can say, it is defined as a heaven. And this is a Vikari world, is a non-deterministic world. It is as per the Guhya Gati. So that is how this is the next cycle. This is the meta metaphysics. This is a kind of a poetic justice. Let us review this 9 laws. This first law, second law, third law, fourth law, and this fifth law. They are the concepts which we have already seen. That Purush controls the Prakriti, not only Purush, but script of the Purush controls the Prakriti. We know that the Prakriti follows the script. We know that what Prakriti, as per the thermodynamics law, is quality deteriorates. And that is why we have seen that quality during the journey, quality of the Purush also deteriorates and Vikar is generated. So this Vikar generated and this control is put. And now the real cycle starts here, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And we have seen that in the next cycle, because all the souls from human world go to the soul world at a time, at this time is equal to time t. And as per the karmic theory, they will enter it one by one based on whether critical mass of the souls. They will come in the Nirvikari world, other will come into the Vikari world, and they follow the same rules of this QRT. And then this is, but at the time when there is settlement cycle, so it follows the rule of yoga and bhog, and as per that, so 6, 7, 8, and this keeps on repeating. This cycle keeps on repeating, and this is how 9 laws have been validated, and it has been made very clear that if you, because the cycle has to be completed, there has to be a settlement cycle. So settlement is either by the yoke or either by the bhog. It is preferable if you want to settle those things by yoke, then we have to change the lifestyle, which is what is the Raj Yoga lifestyle, or you have to become a God conscious. And once you become the God conscious, that means that your lifestyle should be from body conscious or role conscious to soul conscious. So you have to purify the self by using God conscious, or otherwise the option of the karmic punishment is overview. So this is the overview of the Dharma. So Adhyatma is what? Which is where everything is scripted for each soul or predefined for the 4 yuga, except the transition yuga. We have 2 options. So we have to opt for the option of Adhyatma. And this is otherwise it is true for all the souls and everything is automatic.